Come on in.
Of those two defects I just described.
Any of those situations, would you expect ultimately the blood to end up in that left cavity?
Yes.
And that's what you saw.
Yes.
You were also asked about blood in the throat or mouth. Does the
Hey,
absence of that
can y'all hear me?
was or was not alive for some period of time after being shot at the heart?
No.
Thank you. Other questions?
All right, sir, you can step down.
Thank you.
State can call its next witness.
Hey, Susan. Hey, Melissa. Well, here we are. More Lori Vallow stuff. Hey, Bridget. Was y'all watching this before? I was just able to now to sit down and finally got my camera working on the right thing over here. Got my background going on, looking good. Well, y'all send some hearts and stuff. I don't know how it works over here on the big YouTube. Wait a minute. Let me do my HDMI cable so I don't lag.
Say what call, Mark, sorry.
All right, sir, come on up. You're going to stand right in front here and be sworn in. Yeah, come right up. Come right up here.
Can you spell your name for the record? You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you.
All right, you're going to walk around the court reporter and have a seat to my left.
Would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Mark Sari. I'm a special agent with the Social Security Administration, Office Inspector General.
What do you do there?
So I investigate crimes and allegations of fraud, waste, and abuse within Social Security.
How long have you worked for Social Security?
Approximately 6 years.
And as an investigator with Social Security, are you familiar with the reports that are created and kept in the normal course of business?
Yes, I am.
And for instance, are you familiar with sort of the meetings and processes and notices of award letters sent out by Social Security for survivor benefits?
Yes, I am.
What are survivor benefits?
Those are benefits paid to a recipient. For example, if someone were to die or pass, their children would be possibly entitled to benefits on their behalf after they were to pass.
When a child becomes an adult, what happens to those survivor benefits that Social Security has been paying?
They would cease.
What if a child is taken to or adopted by or guardianship is given to another individual while they're receiving survivor benefits.
They would transfer to that new individual.
When a child has a parent that passes away, are any benefits paid out to the mother of the child?
Yes, they could be.
How does that depend? What makes the difference on whether or
Actually,
not
is,
the mother
Susan. I
gets
thought the same
benefits or
thing.
not?
So it's a benefit called mother, child, and care benefits. So for example, if a mother is married to her father at the time of his death, she would receive called a mother, child, and care benefit. So it'd be a dual benefit for the child as well as her benefit for herself. It'd be the same dollar amount that she would receive as well.
So if the parents were not married at the time that one of the parents passes away, then does the other parent get any survivor benefits?
They would not.
If a surviving spouse remarries, what happens to those benefits given to, say, the mother of the child?
They would then cease upon that marriage.
Would the child still get benefits?
They would.
Okay. Were you asked to look into survivor benefits involving Lori Vallow and JJ Vallow?
Yes, I was.
In your investigation, did you also become aware of benefits being provided to another child of Lori Vallow, Tylee Ryan?
Yes.
During your investigation, did you learn that starting in June of 2018, Tylee Ryan was receiving survivor benefits from Social Security for the death of her father?
Yes.
In 2019, how much was Tylee Ryan receiving?
We have approximately $18.59 per month.
Is there a representative payee for a child who is receiving Social Security benefits as survivor?
Yes, there is.
What is a representative
I think they're
payee?
trying to establish
So
motive.
based upon a child being a minor, we would appoint a called representative payee. So that person would be the payee on behalf of that child. So they would have a bank account and they pay money from us on behalf of that child to pay for shelter, clothes, money, that sort of thing, food, that sort of thing.
So in the case of Tylee Ryan, was Lori Vallow the those benefits you said are put into a bank account that can be held by both the child and the payee?
Correct.
Now, if Lori Vallow was married in June of 2018 to someone else, not Tylee's father, would she still receive that mother of survivor benefits?
She would not.
Okay. How does a person go about applying for survivor benefits from Social Security?
So upon the passing of the recipient, say a father, they would have to go into the office or apply online, and then have an appointment to confirm the details for that survivor receiving benefits on behalf of that decedent.
And so that's the normal course of business, is to have someone come in eventually and speak with someone about verifying different important aspects to consider when determining whether or not to provide survivor benefits.
Correct.
During your investigation, did you become aware of Lori Vallow going to an appointment with someone from Social Security Administration related to JJ?
Yes.
When was that?
On or about August 12th, 2019.
During that meeting, did Lori Vallow have to answer questions relating to her relationship with Charles Vallow?
Yes.
Did she have to, for instance, provide the date when she and Charles Vallow were married?
Yes.
When was that?
The date of the marriage, and I have to be refreshed from a document for that.
Sure. Let me see if I have the right one here. If I can have my paralegal approach.
Would have been on February 24th, 2006.
And you can leave that with me. Thank you. During that meeting on August 12th of 2019, was Lori Vallow questioned about whether or not she and Charles Vallow were living together at the time of his death?
She was.
And what did Lori Vallow tell Social Security on August 12th of 2019 about whether or not she and Charles Vallow were still living together at the time of his death?
She confirmed they were living together at the time of his death.
Is that important in trying to determine survivor benefits?
It definitely helps the agencies determine if benefits are entitled to the recipient, correct?
Now, as part of your job, sort of working for the Office of Investigations for Social Security, did you become involved in looking at these benefits that were awarded to Lori Vallow and to J.J. Vallow as a result of the death of Leland Charles Vallow?
Yes.
You told
Hey,
us you were
Melissa.
familiar with the notice of award letters that Social Security sends out.
Yes.
And are those letters created in the normal course of business?
Yes.
And are they created at or near the time when that person goes in to make that appointment and a decision is made to provide those survivor benefits?
Yes, correct.
If I can have my paralegal approach with 213 and 214?
Is that Lori getting up and down and whatnot? Watch it come in front of the camera. Is that her?
Do you recognize what those two exhibits are?
I do.
And are those the notice of award letters sent to Lori Vallow regarding survivor benefits for both herself and for J.J. Vallow?
Yes, they are.
And those are the documents you talked about that were created in the normal course of business
Yes.
at or near the time of that decision?
Yes.
Your Honor, the state will move to admit 213 and 214.
Any objection?
What is she doing?
213, 214 are admitted.
And if I can get those so I can publish them as well, Your Honor.
Is she handing stuff? I'm confused. No, that can't be her. It's the other. No, it's not her. See the face. Okay, I'm like, I know they ain't having her go up and get the things.
I start with
Hey, B.
213. Maybe autofocus there. Okay. So what we see here in 213 is this the letter that would be sent to Lori Vallow on behalf of Joshua Jackson Vallow, JJ Vallow.
Yes, correct.
And we see it was sent to an
Charlie
address
one.
in Santan Valley.
Yes.
Does this letter provide or advise how much money that Lori Vallow would receive or that JJ Vallow would receive as a result of the death of his father?
It does.
And how much would he
You're
receive
welcome.
as a result of the death of Charles Vallow?
It'd be $19.51 per month, and also mentions the back pay from the date of death for Charles up until that date of the letter.
Okay. So monthly, the 1951, and then a back pay of $3,902.
Correct.
Hi, my freckle journey. I'm really
Exhibit
believing now
2014.
she was trying to get some money per month.
When Ms. Vallow went in on August 12th, would that be the same, during that meeting, would they have been questioning her with regards to both JJ as well as her survivor benefits?
Yes.
So this letter is from that same meeting.
Yes.
In 214 again, this one, we see that it's only addressed to Lori Vallow, but at the same 1658 East Sherry Street in Santan Valley.
Yes.
And how much money was Ms. Vallow set to receive as a result of the death of Charles Vallow?
It would be $19.51 per month.
Is that the same as what JJ was getting?
Yes, it'd be mirroring the same amount that JJ was receiving. Yes, correct.
So basically, she's getting about $4,000 a month.
4,000 a month.
Now, in these letters and the other documentation you reviewed, we see her as Lori N. Vallow, correct?
Yes.
In your investigation, did you ever learn whether or not Lori N. Vallow ever remarried and became Lori N. Daybell?
Yes.
Can you tell us in your investigation what the date of that marriage was when Lori N. Vallow became Lori N. Daybell?
November 5th, 2019.
And who did Lori Vallow marry?
Chad Daybell.
No other questions for this witness, Your Honor?
Cross.
Mr. Surrey,
Lord, here we
the
go.
Social Security, as a surviving spouse, can you get benefits if you didn't have any children?
I believe so, correct? Yes.
Okay, so if you've been married for longer than 10 years, you get spousal surviving benefits. Is that correct?
There are some rules for that. I believe that is correct, I believe, yes.
And so if I had been married to my husband for 10 years and his previous wife had been married to my husband for over 10 years, she would also get that surviving spouse benefit?
What's your question again? Who's the she part? Didn't follow that part.
Okay, just a previous person who has been married to my husband previous to me for more than 10 years. I mean, that's what Social Security does, right?
I'm not sure. What is
they're
the question?
divorced.
I'm trying to.
Okay,
If they're divorced now,
Sorry.
yeah.
so if there were two spouses to a deceased husband, consecutively, and they were both each married for over 10 years to that same husband, they would both receive a spousal benefit or could apply for and receive that spousal benefit. Is that correct?
That's more of an administrative issue. I have to obviously I'm not aware of all those policies for that kind of issue. So I can't really answer yes or no to that question.
Okay.
I think it would depend on
So
if they're
if it
divorced
was
or not.
explained to me when I was at the Social Security office that I could receive that,
Hold on. I'm going to sustain the objection.
okay. But it is possible, you're just not aware of it. Is that correct?
I would have to ask an expert in our agency for administrative rules on that.
Okay. And what is your expertise at
I'm,
Social Security?
I'm a special agent.
And so you just investigate, is that correct?
I investigate crimes of fraud, waste, and abuse with Social Security, correct?
You investigate fraud, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. But you're not really privy to what an agent might be telling a person as they come in to get Social Security, is that correct?
What they tell an agent, an employee, or what is your question again?
Yes, so you're not really privy to what the employees are telling the regular people that come in to the Social Security office.
I'm not there for those appointments, correct?
So you don't really understand what all benefits can be given?
We with OIG investigate crimes of fraud, waste, and abuse. So we are the experts for that. And we also have experts internally in Social Security we look to for guidance on internal rules that are more complex, if that kind of helps you out.
Okay. So you had said something about mother in care benefits. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Bridget, I
So-
didn't realize that.
And it's the same dollar amount as the child in care benefits. Is that correct?
There's two benefits, for the child in care and also for JJ. They're mirroring same amount, correct?
But wouldn't the mother in care benefits be for the child?
It would be if that individual had the child in their care, correct?
Right. So, but a spousal benefit, if you've been married for over 10 years and you didn't have any children, you would still be entitled to that. Isn't that correct?
My understanding is that you have to be a certain age to get that benefit, to be a certain age to apply for that. In this situation here, due to the decedent Charles dying, there was a benefit for the child only that was receiving, as well as child in care. So only two benefits were received for the child, also child in care as well.
So my question is, how is that determined by the employee? Like if it's spousal benefit or if it's a mother and care benefit?
It'd be up to the applicant to apply for the benefits.
So if you applied for the spousal benefit and they gave you the mother and care benefit instead, how would you know the difference? You just know that that was the monthly amount you were getting?
You would receive a letter in the mail. You also would be at the appointment very clearly told what you're applying for. It should not be any confusion at all what you're applying for at that appointment.
Okay, so if you were told that you were getting the spousal benefit,
Yeah. It's the
I totally
if an
agree.
employee told a recipient that they were getting a spousal benefit,
I'll allow him to answer that hypothetical if he knows.
if an employee were to tell someone they were getting a spousal benefit and they received a letter in the mail saying it was a mother and care benefit, should they call the Social Security office and clear that up?
It would be up to the applicant if they received a letter in the mail to contact Social Security and say, hey, this is the wrong benefit I'm receiving. So it would be up to the applicant to let Social Security know that benefit is not correct.
So if the employee
Just watch the looks on the judges.
put it in as something other than they told the recipient,
Poor guy.
then it would just be up to the recipient to correct that. Is that correct?
Social Security goes off of information that's provided to the agency by the applicant. That makes sense. So it's up to the applicant to be truthful and provide the right information to the agency.
So do you have a copy of my application for either of these benefits?
You'd have to ask the prosecutor for that information.
Okay. Have you ever seen one to your knowledge that you remember?
Yes,
You've seen my applications?
yes, I have.
And were they for mother in care?
It was for survivors for JJ as well as for mother, child, and care as well.
So the application that I filled out was not for spousal benefit. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
I'm sorry.
he can answer if he knows, if he recalls the answer.
Repeat the question, please.
I'm saying, so of the records that you
Mhm.
saw, I did not have a spousal survivor benefit application.
The records I saw were an application for survivors benefits for JJ as well as for child and care as well. Two different benefits that you were receiving.
Okay, so is there an application for spousal benefit?
I'm only aware of the two benefits you were receiving, which was for JJ and for mother, child, and care.
So it could have been a mix-up of the employee. Is that what you're saying?
No.
They would have been relying on information you would provide at that application appointment, August 12th, 2019.
And this is a filled out form application? Is that what you're saying? It's not just something you verbally give to the employee?
I believe you could do it online ahead of time, but you were present, I believe, on August 12th at the office to go through line by line, I believe, with that application.
So if I thought I was getting, if a person,
She's so lost right now.
so in your
So
investigation of this fraud, you have seen all of my applications, is that correct?
I reviewed any and all documents that we have in relation to JJ as well as to you receiving benefits on his behalf, correct?
And you do not recall seeing any spousal surviving benefit application, is that correct?
All that I recall seeing was once again the two applications, one for mother, child, and care and one for JJ as well.
And isn't that a redundant benefit?
Which benefit?
The mother in child care and the child in care. Isn't that that's basically the same thing?
JJ had a benefit for himself solely,
Mhm.
then a second one to be mother,
how many
child, and
times
care.
is he going to explain that?
Does that
To
make-
take care of the child.
Correct. The child has to be under your care, custody, and control during that time period. Correct.
So
So,
when you're receiving these social security benefits, they want them to be for the things that you stated previously, right?
Give a few examples, but it is for the benefit of the child. Correct.
Right. And it's supposed to be spent on food and clothes, and it could be spent on an electric bill, and it can be spent on rent. They want you to utilize that money on a monthly basis. Is
right.
that correct?
Correct. Or you could also conserve it for the child as well, but that is correct.
And that they can do an audit any time of your account to make sure that you're spending it on those correct things. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yes.
And they want it to be spent every month, and you can't really save it for college. Is that correct?
No.
So if an employee told that to a recipient, that would be incorrect?
The benefit is for the child. The money can be saved or spent on the child.
So if
Here's the
the
judge's.
recipient was told that all the money has to be
Here's the
spent
judge's
every month
motto.
on the care for the child and could not be saved for college because it is Social Security.
The objection sustained for, it's straying into you testifying, ma'am.
So it is not your understanding that that benefit has to be spent every month. Is that correct?
For the love of God.
Sustained.
So you were not aware of
The
that?
judge is playing
Sustained.
rummy back there, solitaire on his computer.
Can I have a moment to confer?
Go ahead.
Can I have a moment to go ask my lawyer? Because I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just talking in circles. Oh my God. Lori Vallow, please make your way up to the mic.
Mr. Sari, you weren't present at the interview with me and the employee at the Social Security office on August 12th, were you?
I was not.
So you do not really know what was said. Is that correct?
Correct.
So you just saw the applications in the later time?
Yes.
What time about when you started investigating this fraud?
In or about January 2020.
And who is your superior?
God.
Is your question who my boss is, or
Right.
I have a special agent in charge who's my immediate boss.
Oh, God, Cassie, I totally agree.
Sustained.
Totally agree.
Who assigned my case to you? That's my question.
It's not really relevant, but you can answer, sir.
Are you asking for the name, or what are you looking for as far as your question?
The name would be fine.
At the time, it was special agent in charge, Joe Rogers. He's now retired.
And he was your direct,
He was my ASAC at the time.
and that came to you in January of 2020?
Yes, correct.
Thank you. No more questions.
All right, redirect.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm not going to talk to you like I talked to the guy from 2020.
August 12th of 2019, when Ms. Vallow went to Social Security and had a meeting, what is the point of that meeting?
The point of that is for an applicant to come into Social Security, apply for benefits, and then have Social Security determine if they're eligible or not for those benefits.
You have up with you a paper that was provided to you earlier to review. After that meeting was a letter sent to Mrs. Vallow relating to the answer she gave and the benefits she was requesting.
Yes.
Is that what you were looking at when you were looking at some of the information that she had provided?
Yes.
So in that letter that was sent to Ms. Vallow, what address was that sent to?
It would be the 1658 East Sherry Street in Santan Valley, Arizona.
And so that letter covers the answer she gave that we previously discussed of when she married Charles Vallow, for instance,
Correct.
children that they had,
Yes.
that they were still living together,
Yes.
and then discussed what she would be applying for.
Yes.
When you, in your understanding and having investigated these crimes, does Social Security just start deciding for people what benefits they feel they might want? Do they make decisions for them? Hey,
No.
you look like you might want these benefits.
Not at all. No.
So regardless of whether any of us understand why Social Security would give benefits for a child and for the mother of the child if they're still married to the spouse, that is what you can get?
They would ask the applicant what they are applying for, correct, as far as for that benefit.
So when a couple is married and they have a child together and one of those spouses dies, the other spouse may be entitled to benefits for the child of that child.
Yes.
So in addition to the initial letter after that August 12th meeting, then Ms. Vallow was sent the second two letters, Exhibits 213 and 214, that showed her how much she was ultimately awarded.
Correct.
One letter was sent to her specifically for JJ,
Yes.
and the other letter was sent to her specifically for herself as the mother in care of JJ.
Yes.
And that's the one where we saw it was her name for JJ.
Yes.
In your investigation, you did not see any surviving spousal benefits.
I did not.
All you saw in looking through reams of documents was that Mrs. Vallow was receiving those two benefits that we've discussed.
Correct.
You were asked about when you began investigating this case, correct?
Yes.
And would those benefits for Lori Vallow have terminated when she became Lori Daybell?
Yes. Upon a remarriage, that mother child and care benefit would immediately cease.
But the benefits for JJ would have continued.
Correct.
I have no other questions, Your Honor.
Are there any questions for this witness from the jury? I see at
Let
least
the
one.
games begin.
Oh my God.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Wow. What are we doing now? Is she going to cross-examine or is she going to let him go? What's happening? Are they having another sidebar?
Mr. Goose, what do you have to say for yourself? Guilty. Your Honor, my
Longest trial ever. He's sitting there like, there's fraud happening right now that I can't go fix because I'm sitting here explaining the same thing over and over in different ways. Jury questions? Oh, the jury has a question. Oh, okay, okay. Well, how y'all doing? Are the jury? What do you think the jury's asking right now? What is your opinion? What do you think the jury's asking right now? When's it over? Pump, bump, jam, pump. Okay.
What began as just another ordinary day.
I agree. I agree, BCR. Probably like I'm so lost. Well, I don't know what to do. The jury must have a lot of questions. No, I'm just pressing buttons. I mean, I don't know what are we going to do here, you know? That's how I feel every time Lori Vallow Debil asks a question. Is it that we're muted? Oh, Lord. A witness? This could take a while.
I have a couple questions for you, sir.
Here we go.
Payments to Lori Vallow stopped after your investigation.
They were, yes.
And during your investigation, do you know if Lori Vallow notified Social Security of her new marriage?
She did not.
Based on those questions, did the defendant have any follow-up for this witness?
Can I?
Do you have any follow-up?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Sari, you said that I did not notify Social Security of my marriage
Correct?
that you know of.
To my knowledge, you have not? No.
Okay. So you don't know if in Hawaii I was at the Social Security office and notified them?
Sustain. It's, again,
But you're,
testifying.
so would you have all of the information from every office in that regard?
From our review of the records, there is no notification at all of you ever notifying Social Security of that marriage.
Of of the records that you had access to, is that correct?
From our review of these Social Security databases,
Oh.
which would encompass notifications, we have seen zero
Keep going
notifications.
there.
And
Mhm.
what would you have to do to put in a notification?
An employee would have to go on the record and make a change or make a report of contact, that sort of thing.
And so that would go into a major database and then it would be available to you as well?
We would have access to view and see if there was any changes made. There were no changes made after August 2019 on your behalf.
So none were made in November, that, to your knowledge?
There were none made.
And is that something that you would be made privy to
Yes,
in the course of your investigation?
yes.
So it's not something that you could have just missed?
I did not miss it, correct?
Okay.
Okay.
Correct?
What about it, girl? Where's your proof you went in there? Hmm?
Does Social Security use computer systems to keep all this data?
They do,
They don't just have pieces of paper lying around that maybe you missed?
correct.
So whenever anything is updated anywhere in the country, it's put into a database that you were able to access,
Yes,
and you did access it,
yes,
and you reviewed.
Why ain't she up at the mic?
yes.
And you at no point saw any information to indicate that any changes were ever made to those benefits after August of 2019?
Correct.
And Social Security was not advised that Ms. Vallow had been married in November of 2019.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right, sir, you can step down. State, have another witness we can start?
I do.
Go ahead.
I may go get her.
He's like, go ahead.
I will be pressing charges.
Mr. Goose, what do you have to say for yourself? Guilty. Your Honor, my
What? I think they're trying to get another witness up there, and I don't know who it's going to be.
All right, you're going to come right up here. Stand right here in front of this bar, and my clerk will swear you in. You know, walk around the support reporter, have a seat to my left.
Who's it going to be? It's a lady.
Would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Robin Smith Scott.
I'm going to have you move up or pull down that mic so we can hear you a little better. Thank you. Where do you work?
I work at Banner Life Insurance Company,
How long have you worked there?
13 years.
What type of, well, let me start with what does Banner Life Insurance do?
We are strictly a life insurance company. Customers can purchase life insurance policies.
And what do you do for Banner Life Insurance?
I work in the claims department as a claims representative. I process death claims.
Have you previously had to testify before about a payout of policy?
Yes.
I'm going to start by asking some real general questions so we understand sort of life insurance. How does someone go about getting life insurance?
They could go through an agent. More recent years, you can apply online. There's information, you fill out an application, basic information regarding yourself. There could be some financial questions, health questions.
Okay. And you talked about a agent. What is an agent in there?
An agent is someone outside of our company, but they do business with us. They'll generally try to, find the best coverage and possibly best prices through, different companies for their clients.
When we're talking about life insurance, is there something called a policy owner?
Yes.
Can you tell us what that means?
Pretty much exactly what it states. The policy owner owns the policy. They are the ones that basically can make any changes to the policy during the insured's lifetime, such as they can relinquish ownership. So basically do an ownership change. They can change the beneficiary. They could decrease the value of the policy, if they chose to. They basically have complete control of the policy.
What's the difference between the policy owner and the insured?
So the insured, the policy covers that person's life in the event of that person's passing. The death benefit would be paid to the beneficiary, but the policy owner, if that person is different than is not the insured, again, the policy owner is the only one who can make changes to the policy.
So there are times where the policy owner and the insured are not the same.
Correct.
Can the policy owner and insured then be the same person?
Yes.
As well? Okay. And you said the policy owner is able to change the beneficiaries. What do we mean? What is a beneficiary?
The beneficiary is who will receive the death benefit in the event of the insured's death.
Okay. Can the insured, if they're not the policy owner, change the beneficiaries?
If they do not own the policy, they cannot make that change.
Can the beneficiary, if they aren't the policy owner, change anything about the life insurance policy?
No.
Can they, when someone passes away, who decides who will actually be paid out? Who makes that decision of who will get the benefits paid out?
Well, as us claims examiners, we are going to review the policy, any documents that have been submitted through the lifetime of that policy, and we are going to determine and confirm who the primary beneficiary of the policy is.
So if someone obtains a life insurance policy and initially has one beneficiary, they can later file some new forms and create and change that to a different person?
Yes,
So you have to look through and make sure that you have the most recent beneficiary.
correct.
When someone calls in to make a claim on a life insurance, I say so-and-so passed away, is it customary for claims adjusters like yourself at Banner Life to sort of take that information and then look into all these things to make sure you know all of the different changes that may have occurred?
Yes, that is our standard process.
Does Banner Life Insurance keep copies of all of those policies as part of sort of your normal business practice?
Yes,
And does Banner Life Insurance keep copies of any modifications to a person's life insurance policy as part of the business practice?
yes.
If someone wants to modify who the beneficiary is, how do they go about doing that?
They would request a beneficiary change form. They can also access online if they are able to provide the proper security things through the website. But they would normally contact our customer service department, request a beneficiary change form, and complete it and return it. It is then reviewed by our customer service representatives to make sure it is completed appropriately. And if so, the change will be made. If not, then it's rejected.
Does a beneficiary modification form have to be notarized?
It depends on the amount of the policy. I believe anything that's 500,000 and above would need to be notarized.
So a policy for $1 million would require it to be notarized if you're changing the beneficiary?
Yes.
When people call in to the claims department requesting a payout, are those calls recorded?
Yes, they are.
And is that done in the normal course of business with Banner Life Insurance?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the life insurance policy with your company for Charles Vallow?
Yes, I am.
Are you familiar with how much that life insurance policy was for?
Yes.
How much was it for?
$1 million.
Prior to February 26th of 2019, who was the beneficiary of Charles Vallow's life insurance policy with Banner?
Prior to that date, Lori Vallow was the beneficiary.
So prior to February 26th of 2019, if Charles Vallow had passed away, would his wife Lori Vallow have gotten $1 million?
Correct.
In February of 2019, did Charles Vallow call Banner Life Insurance and request a beneficiary designation form?
He did.
Was one sent to him?
Yes, it was emailed to him.
And did Banner Life Insurance then receive a beneficiary designation form on February 26th of 2019 from Charles Vallow?
Yes.
Was that notarized?
Yes.
And in that beneficiary designation form, did Charles Vallow change the beneficiary for his life insurance?
Yes.
Who did he make the primary beneficiary for the life insurance?
His sister, Ethel K. Woodcock.
Looking at 215, do you recognize that both as an affidavit authenticating the Banner Life Insurance documents,
Yes.
as well as the beneficiary designation form change from February 26th of 2019
Yes.
that we were just discussing? In there, is there also a CD?
Yes.
Does that contain a recording of your call with Lori Vallow on July 15th of 2019?
Yes.
Would you like to listen to that to verify that?
Yes, please.
And do you recognize that as the call from July 15th of 2019?
I do recognize the call.
Your Honor, the state will move to admit Exhibit 215.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
215 is admitted.
And if we could
All
perhaps
right.
break at this point
Okay.
since it's 12:01, otherwise it'll be playing for a
All
while.
right, let's take our lunch recess for the jury. Please remember the admonition will resume with the jury at 1:30.
All rise for the jury.